Hi everyone, and welcome to today's tech update for ITRS Opsview, and thank you all for joining. Today's speakers are going to be myself, so I'm Scott Evans. I'm a commercial product manager here at ITRS. I'm going to be covering a lot of the Opsview content today, and I'm also joined here today by Steph Hagen, who's the lead technical support engineer, who's primarily going to be covering some of the ITRS uptrends content that we're covering today. So today we're going to be running through the latest enhancements and functionality that we have with Opsview. We're going to be talking about what's coming next, both in the next quarter as well as we move into 2024. I'm then going to hand over to Steph, who's going to give you a bit of an introduction or a refresher for those who already know around ITRS uptrends and digital experience monitoring. And then we're going to bring it all together with business service monitoring, how you can bring both your infrastructure and your digital experience in one place for a number of benefits with a holistic view. And then we can round it off with any Q&A that you've got throughout the session. So first of all, latest enhancements and functionality. There are obviously some highlights here. The full list is going to be available on the website, but I really wanted to highlight some of these key areas, such as the new Windows and Linux agent that we've been working on. And so this is now in production, it's out of the beta phase, and this is replacing our existing agent, and the key driver for this new agent was security. So with NRPE and NS Client, which are some of the protocols that we used with the old agent, those were deprecated and had a number of growing security issues. And so with this project, we didn't just want to just fix the issues and replace that. We wanted to set it up so we could, give us a platform to build additional functionality on moving forward. And we understand replacing agents can be quite a big effort, especially in a large environment. So we tried to make this as easy as possible by being able to import your existing configuration from the old agent. We've also made it so you can actually easily support any operating system moving forward with this. We have a number of operating systems that you can support on and you can download from our website. But we made it open source so you can actually build it on any operating system if you absolutely need to as well, if we don't support it today. And we do recommend this for new hosts initially. This is a new agent, it is out of beta phase, but yeah, we recommend this for new hosts and let us know your feedback as this slowly transitions into becoming the primary agent moving forward. You can continue to use the old agent and there is no end of support date for that, but obviously any new enhancements will be for the new agent going forward. Next up, we've got the mobile app refresh. And so this was an update and a kind of an overall refresh of the entire Opsview mobile app that we have today. And one of the primary use cases that we find customers use it for is notifications. And so we made sure that we fixed an issue around needing to re-authenticate to be able to receive those notifications. And as part of this, we've also improved security via encrypted storage library and fixed an issue related to that authentication failure. Ultimately, making sure that you can use the primary use case of it, that notification feature, without being interrupted. And finally, on security improvements, we continue to make a number of security improvements with every single release, so it's always worth staying up to date. But recently we made sure that we support Oracle Linux 8, so you can support that now, as well as updating things like Jasper Server to the latest version. That's part of the reports module to fix a number of security issues with it. We've also updated permissions around monitoring collectors page to prevent unauthorized users from viewing clusters and collectors that they shouldn't. So moving on to what's coming next. So for Q4, sort of the rest of this calendar year, a big focus for us is around improving collectors with a new method that we developed called remote collector management. And this makes it a lot easier to not only register and manage, but also upgrade them just from the UI and doing it centrally. This also means that you can get automated plugin distribution via this new method. And in a large complex environment, one of the ones we've tested so far with about 180 collectors, it actually reduced the upgrade time by about 60%. We saw an absolutely massive improvement by this. So hopefully it makes it a lot easier to manage collectors moving forward, as well as reduce your upgrade times as well. And in Q4 and obviously moving into next year, we'll be continuously making security enhancements. We'll be looking at the new Linux and Windows agent, any feedback that you guys have, and making enhancements on that as well. And ops packs. We're continuously looking at those to see what we can refresh or come up with new ones to make sure we can support the latest technology. And a refresh of Azure ops packs is next on the list that we'll be tackling in Q4. As we move into 2024, we're going to be looking at making sure we can easily migrate from your current collector system to this new remote collector deployment method. And we're also going to be making a number of changes, especially for the Opsview Cloud customers. There's some big changes around reducing the downtime during upgrades on that. And those are benefits on top of that sort of 60% that I mentioned earlier with the new remote collector management method. So some big improvements to upgrade times and the sort of the downtime related to it with Opsview Cloud. We're also going to be adding support for RHEL 9 and Ubuntu 22 in terms of operating support and infrastructure agent support. There'll be a number of security enhancements, but one of the big things that we're looking forward to is dynamic thresholds. And so this is going to be some new functionality where rather than having static thresholds on every single check, you'll have the ability to set it dynamically. So it will look at the previous 2 weeks or so, it will look at historical data for that particular check, and then actually update the thresholds based on that so that you can actually be a bit smarter with those. And also the goal of it is to reduce noise. There are also some cost benefits to this, especially if you're using things like dynamic thresholds for disks and percentage full type functionality. You can be a lot more efficient with dynamic thresholds. So not only do you get less noise, but you can also make some cost savings in the space as well. And so with that, that's the roadmap. I'll now hand over to Steph, who's going to talk a little bit around uptrends, digital experience monitoring.
Thank you very much, Scott. My name is Steph Hagen, and I'm going to be introducing ITRS Uptrends. Afterwards, Scott will speak a bit about how to pull uptrends monitoring data into Opsview. Quickly about ITRS Uptrends. So in contrast with Opsview, which monitors your servers, Uptrends is a digital experience monitoring tool to monitor the services you are running on those servers from the end user perspective. Your end users are interacting with services, being websites or web applications, and performance and availability for those are key, so it makes sense to monitor from the end user perspective or from the outside looking in, as it were. Uptrends monitoring is mostly synthetic, meaning high-frequency automated testing to ensure your services are available and responsive, and to be notified as soon as that is no longer the case. Uptrends is a mostly cloud-based SaaS product with a rich set of easily configured features. Uptrends can monitor all aspects of the websites and services you're running from the end user perspective to gain insight in how your services are performing and their availability. You can monitor your websites, your user journeys, the APIs that your services might be reliant upon, and any other services, and then receive alerts via any channel of your choice as soon as they go down or certain performance thresholds are exceeded. All of this is very easy to configure directly from your browser. You don't need to do any installation or version control. It's a SaaS product, so you don't need anything on your end. You can be up and running with useful monitoring in under 5 minutes. You create an account and go. Uptrends generates data in the form of individual measurements, that being checks executed from our global network of 233 checkpoints to ensure that you get data relevant to where your end users are located. You can see the little map with our checkpoint locations. There's more that fell just out of frame on the slide here. For example, if you go to market primarily in the UK or the US or Germany, you can monitor your websites and user flows from those locations specifically. Alternatively, if your end users are mostly internal, we offer the option to put one of these checkpoints inside of your own network, so you can monitor internal facing web services, APIs, user flows, whatever is necessary, stuff that isn't accessible over the public internet. Uptrends offers a wide variety of monitor types. There's basic uptime monitoring ranging from simple pings and connect monitors, DNS checks, your SSL certificate checks, to slightly more advanced HTTPS requests to check the availability of your websites and your services at a high frequency. There's browser-based monitoring, which gives you detailed metrics about the performance of your pages expressed in common key metrics. As you can see in the screenshot here, this is a screenshot for a result from one of our full page checks. There's detailed information in this particular monitor check, including common metrics like core web vitals, which, for example, Google uses to determine SEO ranking, and W3C navigation timings. At the bottom of the screenshot, you can see a waterfall report that contains detailed information on every individual element loaded with the page to help you identify page load bottlenecks. And a check like this would take place once every 5 minutes, for example, so you would receive a full report such as this one every 5 minutes. There's powerful API monitoring to allow you to interact with your APIs directly and to verify the correctness and timeliness of the API responses that your services depend on. If your APIs don't work, the services don't work, but it's difficult to gain visibility in that under normal circumstances. Web application or transaction monitoring executes scripts on your pages, such as logging in, putting products in a shopping cart, and following the checkout process, or things like executing financial transactions to ensure that every part of your regular user flow works correctly. Every section that it touches, every database that it interacts with underwater, it all needs to work correctly at the same time. You can ensure that with web application monitoring. And there is real user monitoring to give you real-time performance data from your actual end users via a small browser-side script execution. So you'll see what your actual end users are experiencing and interacting with your website. That's a very brief introduction on ITRS Uptrends. I'll now hand over back to Scott, who will talk about integrating Uptrends data into Opsview to create a single pane of glass for both your servers, the infrastructure side, and the services you are running on them from the perspective of your end users. Back to you, Scott.
Thanks, Steph. And now we're going to talk about how we bring all of this together. So ultimately, by bringing all of your Uptrends checks into Opsview, we try to make that as easy as possible. You can really get to that single pane of glass for all of your infrastructure and your digital experience monitoring. This is something we have in the product today. It's an out-of-the-box integration. You can get that data from Uptrends to Opsview, just with a couple of variables. So we've tried to make it as quick as possible. With a new Uptrends account, it actually takes less than 10 minutes to set up. Got all the previous plugins and setups in there. You just need a few variables from the Uptrends side to get that all linked up and sent through. And we actually support all the Uptrends checks out the box. So all the stuff that Steph was talking about, real user monitoring, transactions, API full page checks, all of that we have out the box, quick to set up, and trying to make it so you can benefit from all the Opsview functionality that we have today, but also on top of your digital experience data, so you can combine that into that single pane of glass view. And ultimately, one of the key benefits we've seen, and some of our customers are using this today, is around business service monitoring and how you can bring all of this together into a total view. So a bit of a refresher for those who may not know BSM or haven't touched it for some time. The key goal of it is to essentially answer that question. Imagine if you could immediately understand the business impact of any issue. That's the key goal of BSM. As you can see sort of below, that's kind of an overview of the dashboard that you can get with BSM. And ultimately, this is changing the relationship from just having potentially a parent-child relationship with a host to a business service or business component to a host. By changing that relationship, you can build up these business services and ultimately map all your infrastructure to the actual services that you're delivering. And the key benefit of this, of course, is to then have a quick overview, understand if something goes down, you know exactly what it's impacting, and also depending on how you set it up, you can actually understand, is it causing just a problem, it's something you need to look at, or is something actually down and people can't actually access your business service, and you need to jump on it straight away. And so bringing all of this together by having the infrastructure and the digital experience monitoring combined in business service monitoring, you can avoid falling foul of what's called a watermelon effect. And for those who haven't heard, that's kind of where something looks green on the outside. If everything on a dashboard looks green, that's fantastic, but it's actually red on the inside. Something's actually wrong. You could see that all of your infrastructure looks like it's good, but actually customers are telling you they can't access your service. The digital experience is missing, and by combining those aspects, you get a more realistic picture of your business service, of your performance on there, as well as understanding where an issue might be occurring. Ultimately, all of this helps the ultimate goal, reduce outages, lower the mean time to identify, mean time to resolve, being able to find out where the issue occurs quickly. So the right team using the right tool, focused in the right place, can help solve that issue as quickly as possible and get things up and running again. Obviously always helps as well if if an issue occurs, you can start to understand a little bit more how business impacting that issue might be. Is this something that you need to get up at 3 AM in the morning and fix as soon as possible, or is this something that can wait for the next working day? All of this helps with making sure that you're a bit more focused on what the actual issues are, what the business impact is, and you can quickly get to the root cause and obviously save time and money across the business. that's everything today. So hopefully that was helpful for you all. We'll now hand over to some Q&A, see what questions you've got for us. Okay, so one of the first questions is, do you need Opsview Cloud to benefit from this, given Uptrends is SaaS? So no, you don't actually. You can use either Opsview on-premise or cloud, and it can benefit from this. It's similar to cloud monitoring in the sense that while Uptrends is SaaS delivered, you can use the same type of plugins to get that information into your on-premise environment. So yeah, anything from version 6.7.5 onwards from the Opsview side. Obviously with Opsview Cloud, you're always on the latest version. All of that can utilize this, the benefits that come from it. Next one. We've got a question around, can you use BSM with any other digital experience product? Yes, you can. So one of the key things with Opsview is, of course, the flexibility. If you need to integrate it with any other product, it's quite easy to do with the API. Obviously, the benefits of using this integration and using Uptrends is that it comes one out the box and it's very quick to add value there. But two, obviously, this is the first stage of the integration between these products. They're going to get closer enhanced. There's going to be more functionality comes out of it. So you gain a lot of benefits from, having that sort of combined offering with two products across both your your estate to offer that. So yes, you can obviously use it for other digital experience products. Of course, we recommend Uptrends, but yeah, it does obviously it's a lot faster to get set up with the digital experience monitoring if you are using that. How can you try out Uptrends? So yep, with that you can actually just go to the uptrends.com website. So that's just, and you can hit the try Uptrends button. It does set up an account for 30 days, but if you do need more time to try it out, then just let your account manager know and we can get that extended for you if you need more time to play around with it. And you can actually use that today. So, you could integrate your Opsview offering that you've got with an Uptrends free trial account if you just wanted to sort of demo this out, try it out. Obviously, if you've got any feedback, let us know. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of confidence. You can sort of give this a go, see if it works for you, see if you're seeing the benefits, and obviously go from there. And then we've also got a question around security. So from a security aspect, is Uptrends available on-premise? So Uptrends isn't available on-premise, it's SaaS only, but that's kind of part of the nature with digital experience monitoring. It's external monitoring, so it's sort of public by definition. Again, similar in a sort of way to cloud, but there is no inbound connection needed for Opsview from a security aspect, and both products have ISO 27001 compliance. So if you're worried about security, we've got quite a lot of content around that just to give you that sort of confidence on it, but both have that same sort of ISO certification with both products. And if you are using things like the private locations with Uptrends, so something that's installed in your environment to do some of that digital experience monitoring, we've got quite a lot of granular control over that. You can control what kind of data is being captured from a private location, what data gets sent to Uptrends from behind your firewall, toggling options. You can protect a lot of things, including sort of what data comes under GDPR, and so we do give you quite a lot of granularity and sort of sense of security from both those aspects. But if you do have any sort of specific questions around security, then obviously feel free to follow up with us and we can get back to you. So I think that's it. So I think that covers all the questions. So yeah, thank you all for joining this webinar. Hope you found it useful, and we hope to speak to you soon. Thank you.